So we're out working in the shop today. It's like 12 degrees with the wind chill. It's 2 degrees with the wind chill today. It's like 20 degrees outside. So we're working indoors. We had to put a water pump on our farm utility vehicle. It's called a Bad Boy MTV. They were not popular. We happen to own one. A family friend of ours sold it to us really cheap. We're glad to have it. But they are a ball buster to work on. An absolute ball buster. Changing the oil, servicing it, putting, is that sludge? Is it just sludge? Yeah, it's just sludge.
Is it?
Yeah. The oil's sludged up, yeah, clean that
right.
off. So that's the oil dipstick, or the drain plug. We had to change the water pump, which is right there at the very bottom, the new shiny piece there at the bottom. Some sand or dirt had gotten into the system, I'm assuming, before we owned it, and filed away at all the teeth on it. We had to put all new hoses, connectors. It ate all the connectors up. Just like grinded away at them. Yeah, it's probably
what it's supposed to look like.
Probably needed an oil change for a minute. Let me show you the old water pump. So here's the old top of the old water pump. You have the bottom part of it, Chance?
Yeah, it's in the drain.
Oh.
1 second, I'll show you.
Here's the fins. They're supposed to have teeth on them, kicked out to the side to swirl water. And it's broke off. And all the pipes are corroded and rusted on. The other half has the bolt broke off inside it. All the fittings were filed away like this because the sand had been eating at them. I'll say this, the TGB engine, tough as nails, because I think most other engines probably would have come apart. That's some pretty terrible corrosion work. So we're trying to change oil in it now, and we actually had to re-engineer the intake system on it because they don't make the replacement parts for it. So we put some Gates intake systems on it.
That's what it's supposed to look like.
That's what it's supposed to look like. Yeah.
That was a lot of wow.
That's kind of what we're doing today, working in the shop. It's cold outside. We get the heaters running. Shop here's not insulated or anything, but we're standing in front of them, so we're actually shedding clothing at this point. It's so hot in here. These heaters do a good job. Now, if we went over there, it'd be colder. But here where we're at, it's nice and toasty. So Chance is trying to finish draining it now. And these, like I said, these weren't real popular machines. Bad Boy tried again to make them. They had an electric and a gas version, which we have, 400cc gas version. But Bad Boy just didn't hit the mark when they built these. They were poorly engineered. They're just not really great machines. They're tough. The four-wheel drive on them is fantastic. I mean, we really have never even had an opportunity to even try to get this thing stuck. It's so good. I mean, you used to get anything stuck, but for the stuff we average, use it daily on. It's not a bad-looking machine. It's a nice-looking machine, and it's some wonderful friends of ours were able to kind of sell it to us super cheap here for the farm. They tried to give it to us, but we didn't want to do that. We still need to replace the brake master cylinder on it. None of the brakes work. Haven't for years. We kind of drift to a stop, just roll to a stop. I'm going to really pull anything with it that would require braking, so we just usually drive it from field to field, fix fences, back and forth to house, to shop, or whatever. Haul stuff in the back of it. It's a good little machine. It's tough. I mean, we've had good success with it. It needs a shock. That back shock right there is blown out. Needs a new brake booster to fix all the brakes. And that would probably work again. The actual brake pedals can be locked in the on position, and it rolls completely free. So we're going to finish working on it here, and we'll be back when we get it running. All right, so we're back on the Zetor. It didn't make it today. We were literally delivering and, well, actually not delivering, I'm sorry. They're repairing it when we put the clutch pedal assembly back together. Got that working perfectly. And we went to test drive it, and I noticed the guy who owns it driving around, and we had antifreeze pouring out of it. And literally as we were driving it, the water pump went out. So we have had to disassemble it, pull it all down. Right there's the new pump, that tan colored object right there. And strip the whole front out, get all this pulled out so we get the pump in and out. We had to change it over to this. Here's what happened to it. The old one is right here. Where's the old one?
Right here.
Oh, right here. This one. No good. This is no bueno. Whee! Here's the bearings. Grinding in it. So that's no good. I'm gonna pull the freeze plug out. Actually, it's not a freeze plug. I'm sorry. A lockout plug. That's for a different attachment to some other tractor, I'm sure. Transfer that over. Other than that, put the pulley on the front. The fan's already back in, and we have put antifreeze in it. And she should be ready to go. So that's our experience with the Zetor so far. I'm sure it's a 46 horse machine. It's a 3-cylinder. It's a 95 model, I think. Good tractor. The hydraulics have stayed up the whole day. We rebuilt the cylinders on it, the hoses. Actually, we changed a couple of the ram cylinder pistons, seal kits as well. But she's a peach to work on. They didn't make this baby easy. They combination European and American standard nuts. I thought maybe we were working on a Ford for a minute. But so far, so good. We're about 15-20 minutes from being done with it. And I'm going to deliver it back to the customer. Thanks for watching. All right, so we're welcome to Concrete Farm. Start with that. We're going to work on our Kodiak 450. Oh, I told him a Grizzly.
No, you said it was.
Oh, did I say Kodiak? Okay. Kodiak 450 Yamaha. Nothing major going on here. I've had this four-wheeler for a very long time. It has lots of miles on it. I think it's 5,000.
Oh, you say 6 in the back?
5,600 miles on it. 8 in the back. Yeah, 10. What I usually do when we pull stuff is you can do 8 and 6.
8 and 6.
Yeah.
Let's see what's in it.
It has a petcock leak here. The petcock won't shut off, and it just constantly overfills the carburetor when it sits for long periods of time. What was in it? Nothing?
No.
Yeah.
Dang.
And it's been sitting for a minute. We have a couple of these, and we also have that Bad Boy MTV we drive around all the time. It has a trunk and tailgate stuff on it, so we typically use that to haul stuff with it. It has a, it's like a baby truck. That's typically what we drive around. But we need to do some maintenance on it. We serviced it, what, October last year probably?
It's been a minute.
Yeah, September, October.
All right, we changed the oil.
Yeah, we only do that about once a year on this machine. We don't run it that much. Although it does have 5,600 miles on it. We used to run it daily until we got the MTV, and now it's just kind of more of a extra vehicle to ride around on the farm with, and playing in the sand or whatever down at the river. Anyways, I'll get some video of us working on it. So we got it. Chance's got it pulled apart here. It's like we had to pull the fuel tank off of it. Here's the petcock right here. The shut-off valve, whatever you want to call it. It said it's rebuildable. So we're gonna pull it out and take a look at it. I need to wash this engine stuff off. Pretty greasy in here. It's a little low on antifreeze. There's some in it. That's a little low. But it's been a good four-wheeler.
I found out the tires are supposed to be at 3.6.
Yeah, 3.6. We weren't smart enough to pay attention to it. Tells you right there. I usually run a little heavier because usually we pull a little trailer with it. We had a little 2-axle trailer when we were watering cattle with it. So So we used to pull it quite a bit with that, but we haven't done that in a minute. But did you find the spacer?
I will here in a second.
Get it turned off?
I have not.
I doubt it even shuts off. You have to turn it sideways, keep it from draining.
This thing right here. We'll try anyway. Let's see. It was on reserve.
The air filter's real dirty too. And that's the washable one.
Okay, she's on off.
This is when you take that sock off and clean it.
Like missing that screw or something that holds it on.
Okay.
Maybe better just to get a new one, but we'll see. Okay. Pull that off. Woo. Okay. Starts being on gas for a second, then it stopped. There we go. That wasn't too bad.
Nah. We'll blow all these. That filter needs to be cleaned and re-oiled. I've got oil for it, but it's definitely dirty. I've actually got cleaner too. So is it 2 screws?
Yep.
Yeah, and it's missing that screw.
Yep.
She's been put through the ringer. We've ridden this thing a bunch. I might see if they had this bolt too. I went ahead and oiled it. I might see if they have that screw for that too.
I'm sure they got one.
It's pretty dirty in there. This thing's been ridden quite excessively.
Still in front of the spacer now. Where'd you drop it?
But it's been a pretty good 4-wheeler. We've had Hondas, Yamahas, Polaris. We've had, we've run the gamut with them. Not a big fan of Arctic Cat, just my personal opinion on them. A couple of buddies of mine had them. Didn't seem to hold up as well as these Yamahas and other ones do. Huh?
What are Arctic Cats?
Arctic Cat's just another brand of 4-wheeler. So Bass Pro Shop and Cabela's and those places like that sell.
Really?
Yeah. Anyway, we'll grab a little more footage of us messing around with them, get the petcock and stuff. But we're gonna change this real fast. Something in here is bad. He said you can rebuild this part of it, so we'll take it apart here in the workbench in a minute. Some O-rings and stuff in here. I'm sure they're nice and brittle from all the years of gases, but we need to wash the air filter out. It's real clean in there, but that dust sock on the outside is pretty bad. And clean, blow all that sand and varmint. Looks like some mice have been putting acorns and like pecans or something. It's like pecans in there. Man. All right, we're gonna give it a little work. We'll be back. All right, so it's the next day after working on some ATV stuff. We're up here hauling off some equipment for one of our customers. He's retiring and selling off a bunch of stuff, so we're hauling it for him. We're loading up a old trailer here. It's a back half of a, I guess a 10-ton truck, and there's a bale accumulator on top that's ours. And we made a trade for. But we're here about 45 miles from the house. Moving some equipment around, and just having another day. It's super cold. It's 23, the wind chill of 11. For us Okies, that's pretty cold. For you northern folk, that's just another day. It's shorts weather, I'm sure. But anyway, just a little video of us doing some random stuff here. Trying to have a good time and have a little fun. Anyway, holla back.